Hello, Season 3, Episode 9 of Let's Argue. Alright, so Lamelo Ball, Rookie of the Year of the NBA. MLB sets a 10-game suspension for the foreign substance rule. They've only caught one guy so far. Kemba Walker was traded to OKC. Alright, let's get it rolling. Hey everyone, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me go ahead and explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. It's not hard at all. Go ahead and check it out. All right, so Hector Santiago of the Seattle Mariners gets suspended for 10 games, but he plans to appeal the 10-game suspension, saying that he did not have foreign substances in his glove in between innings. And so far, he is the only person that has been caught cheating, quote-unquote. Hasn't been finalized. More than likely, dude's going to catch his suspension, and that's that. I do know that players are getting really pissed about getting checked every inning almost. Like yesterday, there was a blowout 12-4, and the losing pitcher that was down got checked for foreign substances for no reason. And players have brought up that they feel as if there should be a punishment for so-called call-outs for checks in between innings. As in, if a coach calls out for a check, they lose timeout. They get a strike put on them. They get an out put on them. Kind of like how the NFL, when you challenge a play, when you throw the red flag on the play, and you're not right, then you lose the timeout. I feel as if you should get a strike put on your batter that's up to bat. I feel like that would be the best option, or you straight up give that team the out. So if there's 2 outs, they just got third out for you assuming incorrectly. So I feel as if you're going to call somebody out for having it, you should be right, because they're cracking down on it. This is the beginning process of everything. So therefore, they're more than likely going to they're going to come up with a rule to where, like, if you're wrong, you're also going to be like, hey, you're not right. You're gonna catch the shit end of the stick on this. You're gonna get an out or strike or something put on you. You know. You start the next batter 3-0. I don't know. They gotta come up with something. All right, moving on. So Lamelo Ball gets Rookie of the Year. I believe out of that draft class, he was the only one to perform relatively well. The rest either had injuries or they just didn't get a whole lot of playing time like LaMelo did. And last but not least, let's move on. I didn't have much to say about LaMelo Ball. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the playoffs here in a second. Kemba Walker being traded to OKC. It seems to be the Celtics are just ready to rebuild. That's what I got from that. And yeah, some team. There's gonna be a lot of moves coming up. You know, Lakers are talking about creating a super team, adding a third piece to their already stacked roster. And yeah, so we're also waiting on that as well. And now to talk about the playoff situation, I'm pulling for Milwaukee, and I'm also pulling for the Clippers. The Clippers are already down pretty bad, but they do have a coach that has pulled through from a 3-1 deficit and won and gone on to the finals. So, with that being said, hopefully the Clippers can pull through. I feel like that team only has this year's their chance to make it, because they're going to lose some key pieces, I think, in the offseason, unfortunately. And the Milwaukee, I feel like this is their chance this year in the East to finally get a championship, because the Nets didn't make it. Based on injuries. But you know what? it's starting to have a pretty good pattern of the same players end up injured every postseason, or the same players. It's like sometimes to win championships, it also requires availability, and that's all I really had to say for this week's episode. Just want to mention there's a new number one team in the MLB. Giants are now ranked number one. They're considered the best of the best for this week so far. And that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. Didn't have a whole lot to talk about. NFL buzz is on a real low right now. They're just waiting for the season to kick off here in about a month or two. And I'll keep you guys posted on hot topics that will be coming up in the near future. Go ahead, you know what to do. Find me on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Let's Argue 49. Thank you for listening.